What's up, gamers? Red Dragon here, and we are talking about the latest news on VGM. So, Sony is talking about bringing a PlayStation Early Access program to the PlayStation 4. So, if you are unfamiliar with the Steam Early Access program, let me give you a heads up as to what that is. So, last year, Valve allowed the Steam Early Access program, which allows developers to sell their game as they're being developed. So consumers would buy the game knowing that the game isn't finished. It may be in the alpha stage, it may be in the beta stage, but what happens is you get to buy these games. A lot of times they're at a cheaper rate, so maybe whenever the game fully releases, it'll be a $60 game, let's just say. So if you bought into the Steam Early Access program and you bought the game whenever it was in alpha stage, you may have only paid, $15 or $20 for the game, and you get to keep the game and to continue to play it as it's being developed and until release. So you get to get the game at a cheaper rate. So PlayStation was asked about this, and they said, yeah, it's definitely something that is brought up a lot during their discussions. It's not something that isn't completely and totally new. I think they did that with Dust 514 whenever it came out, so they kind of had a paid alpha or beta with that. But we're talking about on a massive scale, like opening it up to whoever wants to develop games and put it in the system and allow consumers to get early access to it. Now, there are some pros and cons to this program, of course. Some of the pros are the developers, they get money as they're developing. So, of course, this works out really well for indie developers where they can get income as they're working. And so instead of having to wait until they've got a completely polished game and, having to live on beans and rice while they're making the game, this would allow them to have income generated during development, which of course they could take that money and turn around and invest it back into the game. Or they could just go buy some crack cocaine and some prostitutes and, blow it all. I mean, it really could go either way. And they could also wake up one day and decide, you know what, I think I'm done with the game. I don't want to build anymore. And really, there's no way to refund the people who have bought into the game. You're taking a gamble and a bet that these people are going to follow through with their commitment. So you're aiding them in the development. And whenever they decide that the development is done, they could just walk away and pocket all the change. Now, this does happen sometimes. It doesn't happen very often. Most people, do follow through with their games. The other pros from the consumer side is, one, you get the games cheaper by buying into it early, and you also usually get to have a say in the development. So if there's something that you don't like, you all can get together and complain about it, and there's a chance that the developers will listen and remove that by the time the game actually comes out. And so you're getting to play the game as it's being built. And now, of course, the cons are, like I said, somebody can just walk away and you're out of that money and the game never gets finished, or it never lives up to what you hoped it would be whenever you first bought into it. And you're also playing with bugs and glitches, and your game could be wiped clean completely, every other day. That's a possibility too. I know with us playing Rust, that was a thing where, the servers would get wiped occasionally. So, anyway, a lot of people do like this, though. I have a lot of friends who partake in it. And I honestly don't have a problem with options. So I can see both sides of this, and if there's a game out there that I think looks pretty cool, and I've heard enough people say that it's at least playable and in a state where it can be played, then I don't have a problem paying early to get a hold of a game. I know some people won't want that, they'll want a polished game and that's all they want to pay for and buy, and that's completely fine too. So I'm always a guy who likes to keep his options open. So if Sony goes down this path offering early access, I think it's definitely a positive. Post your thoughts below, and what do you think about Steam's early access? And I'm going to go take this phone call. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.